So we don't talk enough about movie toys in general on the podcast. There just has been quite a bit of a drought, mostly due to the fact that we just haven't had enough information and stuff like that in terms of Rise of the Beast. But luckily, through the Transformers Premium Finish line that we've talked about in the past, there's some new releases, there's some new reveals, and we now know item number 5 of the 6-part series of Studio Series movie stuff. And soon we're going to learn, possibly in the future, all the others too. I'll get into that at the end of the segment. Now, today we have the release of Premium Finish PF SS-05 Optimus Prime. This is a insanely decked out and extremely repainted version of the Studio Series SS-05 Voyager class Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime. Now, there's a few things to take away here. There's a little bit of a discussion that has to be had. And the first thing that I want to address, which is the elephant in the room, is the choice of using the Studio Series 05 Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime as opposed to the Studio Series 25 Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime. Now, the difference between the two is kind of night and day in terms of sculpting. One is a retool of the other. And if you ask anyone if they had a choice between SS-05 or SS-25, they're going to want the 25 because it's more screen accurate. Now, the mold that we're going to be dealing with this Premium Finish one is the Studio Series 05. The history in the terms of how that one was designed was essentially they took a lot of the tooling and ideas that they learned from Transformers Prime First Edition Optimus Prime and kind of applied that to the Optimus Prime Voyager class movie design, which prior to that Transformers Prime version, there was a really good Battle Blade one in that Voyager price point that just was really good in a lot of ways. And I think that they then learned from it afterwards with Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime, the Voyager class, the first edition one, and they kind of applied what they learned from that here. But the only issue with it is using those ideas, because they both were long nose cab trailers and long nose cab trucks and everything, the Peterbilt 379. At the end of the day, the product wasn't 100% Studio Series blessing accurate. And it came with two swords, which was pretty cool. But otherwise, it kind of had kind of a shortcoming. But it did have quite a bit of paint on it. When they did and this one came out in March of 2018. A year later, in June of 2019, to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Revenge of the Fallen, they did Studio Series SS-25 Optimus Prime, also Revenge of the Fallen, but extensively retooled from the previous one we just discussed to now look much more movie accurate. And it also fixed some of the other problems, like the SS-05, and I'm worried that the Premium Finish one might suffer from this too, was the SS-05 also had a lot of loose kibble in the back of the robot mode, specifically the truck parts. So hopefully that'll be fixed also. So when they did the SS-25 version, they did away with the swords, gave them an ion blaster instead, and gave him a whole bunch of retooling that then gave him the opportunity to combine with a Jetfire, which the SS-05, which the Premium Finish one is based on, that can't. So that's going to be another kind of, that kind of sucks. Now, when they did the retooling with the SS-25 one, at the time, they didn't have the argument that could be given when people would say, well, why would you buy one compared to the other was because of all that extra tooling, there was a lot less paint put on the SS-25 one as opposed to the 05. But now we have Premium Finish. Premium Finish not only gives us the guns from one, although it only had one gun with the 25, now they give us 2 ion blasters. It gives us the swords from the other, so you get the best of both worlds there. And it gives us an insane amount of paint apps that are just, the other two can't even compare in terms of that budget. But unfortunately, it's using the Studio Series 05 mold. And the only thing I could say positive about the Studio Series 05 mold as opposed to the 25 is the 25, because it had to have the combiner gimmick and fit within that price point of the Voyager class, it sacrificed some of the, I guess we'll call it the final veneering look of the truck mode. the truck mode, if you actually look at it from a lot of different angles, you could see the robot mode kibble exposed beneath the front door of the truck. The floodlights that were used for the windshield, there's a lot of them missing. There's a lot of little things here and there that kind of are like, that's not that great. And also with that one, it's even more, between the two of them, they both had short smokestacks for mostly safety reasons to not match the Peterbilt and everything. But I find that the smokestacks are even shorter on the SS-25. But overall, the robot mode, which is what we're going to have it all displayed in anyways, is superior in every way. So I think that what they were really going for, because this is a standalone product, and they want to have a really good-looking robot mode and a really good-looking alt mode, and not just sacrifice between one or the other, and probably, I'm going to take a guess here, Jetfire isn't going to be part of the Premium Finish line. Could be wrong. We'll get into that in a moment. But because he's not there, there's no need to have a combiner gimmick and have that packed in with it. So at the end of the day, it's just better off to just use the SS-05 one and give him the two guns, the two swords, crazy paint scheme. Shame they didn't include a matrix too. That would have been nice. I mean, he wouldn't be able to hold it, but still would have been kind of cool to like have a little extra something. But that's what it is. And it looks really good though. Don't get me wrong. The paint really makes it pop. It looks fantastic. It's just, I don't know, maybe the SS-25's budget, because there was more parts put into it, would have already put the budget over on the Premium Finish. Who knows? Who knows what I like to call the bean counting that goes on with budget. I think something was probably going on there. But at the end of the day, it still looks fantastic. It's just, I think they used the weaker mold of the two, and that is that. Now, there's 4 Premium Finish figures to be revealed. This goes all the way back to 2021 in October, when it was all a preview. Oh, what are we going to get of the Premium Finish line? They had all these silhouettes. So now we know the February item for the movie line. We have one more movie item in March. The silhouette, I don't know. I can't make it out. Some people are saying it might be Jetfire, but I'm thinking maybe the otherwise. And then we have 2 War for Cybertron molds. One of them for sure is Wheeljack Earthrise. The other one, we're not 100%. Let me know below what you think it is. So we have 3 more still to be revealed. We learned one today. Otherwise, still pretty cool, pretty interesting. But at the same time, it's a shame that they used that mold, but I think maybe they just want to get more mileage out of the SS-05 as opposed to a given, where who knows, probably down the line, they're going to do a studio series of the other one, the SS-25, into a better paint scheme, and then a Jetfire to complement it. Who knows, maybe even a box set or something. So, as of this recording, pre-orders start today, February 10th, 2022. And these are scheduled to come out July of 2022 in Japan, which probably will be comparable also with your local distributors and stuff like that, whether it be your BBTS or whatever. Not sponsored by them, just giving some options. So yeah, pretty cool otherwise. Again, I dig what Premium Finish does with the paint schemes, because they're pretty crazy with the paint schemes and how much they put, but kind of a miss in terms of the choice of mold. I'm very surprised that they went with that. There has to be a budgeting reason. It really has to be a budgeting reason, or they have bigger plans later on for that SS-25 mold with a box set, with Premium Finish, with Jetfire at some point in the future. Who knows? We'll find out then. Let me know what you think,